all the theaters in Kansas City. But it's really more than a movie theater. It's a movie palace. You know? They don't build places like this anymore. I've wanted to work in the Majestic as long as I can remember. Oh, see, the truth is, I'd like to be in the movie business someday. Yeah. I don't know as what exactly. Maybe maybe a writer, maybe a director, maybe a star. Right now I'm just trying to be realistic and keep my options open. But as long as I'm living in Kansas City, it's where my parents live, then I figure that working in the Majestic is about as close to the movie business as I'm going to get.
That's interesting. Can I have my popcorn and root beer now?
Sure.
Thanks.
Just the popcorn and no speeches.
Practice. Was Brown looking for me?
Not yet.
I hate this. I've told Coach I can't stay late. I've got a job. I've got studying to do. The last thing I want is to be thought of as a guy whose only talent is running and jumping.
Creaseman!
Look out!
Has either of you seen Creaseman?
Creaseman? Is that dude late again?
I think he's cleaning the auditorium, Mr. Brown. No, I mean the balcony.
Where is he really?
Projection booth. Scott!
Hey!
Let a hustle. Brown's on your trail.
I couldn't help it. Marlon was running a classic, The Day the Earth Stood Still. We were just to the point where the spaceship doors open and Gort comes lurching down the ramp and Klaatu says,
Creaseman! What the hell are you doing down here?
Working, Mr. Brown.
Have you been up in the projection booth again?
Mr. Brown, Marlon was running one of the old...
I don't want to hear what Marlon was running. We are popcorn pushers, Creaseman, and the only thing I want to hear from you from now on is snacks. Do I make myself clear?
Plenty clear. Good and plenty clear.
You know, someday this is not going to be so funny. You won't always be working at the Majestic. Someday you'll all have jobs out in the real world.
Like you, Mr. Brown.
Exactly. Anyway, the reason I wanted to talk to you all is because there's something very important we have to discuss. It's about Brad Crichton. As I'm sure you all know, Brad was caught stealing last night, and he was fired. Now, stealing is one thing this company absolutely will not tolerate. At any rate, I have to find somebody to replace him.
That's going to be tough. When it came to stealing, Brad was about the best there was.
You know, you got a point there.
Brad.
Don't do that. What I was going to say was, since you're the ones who really have to work with them, I thought I'd let you all decide among yourselves who you'd like to hire.
Oh, Mr. Brown!
And if they're not repulsive, I'll give them the job.
I'll get it.
No, don't go into my office. I'll get that.
I already got it.
No. New rule. From now on, no one goes into my office without my express written consent.
It's for you, Mr. Brown.
No kidding.
So, anybody got any ideas who we should hire?
I've got somebody I'd like to suggest.
Bethonia.
Well?
When? She's your best friend.
Well, what's wrong with that? She's also conscientious, intelligent, well-read.
Humongous.
You guys just don't like her because she's not a fox.
No, she's in the Fox family. Hey, wait a minute. You know who I'd like us to hire? This girl. She's about 5'5", blonde hair, blue eyes, great figure, cute little nose.
Who's that?
I don't know, but that's who I'd like us to hire.
Boys and girls, you can forget what I said about hiring someone. I just got off the phone with a friend of my wife's who wants his daughter to have a job. She starts tonight.
But I thought you were going to let us choose.
I was, but this is a lesson you'll learn in life. People fib.
But what if we don't like her? Can't you at least tell us what she's like?
At least what she looks like?
Or if she has some even deeper ethereal quality, like a personality.
Well, you probably know her from school. Her name is Lynn Holly Brickhouse.
Lynn Holly Brickhouse? Thank you.
Any sign of Lynn Holly?
Not yet.
Gee, won't you two know she's coming by the glow from her aura?
You're not crazy about Lynn Holly, are you, Gwen?
I don't think about her one way or the other. It's just that every time I think about her at those cheerleading tryouts this year, I mean, I worked out for 2 weeks getting ready for those. And on the day of the competition, nobody had more pep than I did. But Lynn Holly saunters in, and just because she looks like she looks, she gets picked. It's always the way it is with her. She doesn't have to do anything. People just accept her because she's... Oh, you know.
The flagship of the female fleet.
From the producers of Summer Fever comes a movie for all ages. They were young. They were in love. They wanted to boogaloo.
Hi, Willie.
Hey, Furlough.
If you want butter on your popcorn, does it cost extra?
No.
Butter this.
Hey, everybody, Lynn Holly just pulled up.
Oh, I could just kick myself for not having confetti.
Don't be sarcastic.
No, I'm serious. I really want to throw something. Okay, I'll try.
Everybody, here she is, your new co-worker, Lynn Holly Brickhouse.
Hi, everybody. Well, I tried. I hate her.
Now, in case you don't know everybody, this is Willie Dawson, Gwen Stottlemyre, and Scott Priestman.
Mr. Brown, introductions aren't really necessary. Lynn Holly and I already do know each other.
We do.
Well, we don't know each other, but we do have 2 classes together at school.
Which ones?
English and algebra.
Where do you sit?
Right behind you.
I'll have to try to remember to turn around.
Well, now, Gwen, why don't you show Lynn Holly where we keep the uniforms? If you have any questions, I'm sure the kids will be happy to help you out.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
And don't forget, the door to my office is always open.
Well, the uniforms are in the locker room. Oh, unless you two want to reminisce more about school.
No. Lynn Holly, I just wanted to say on behalf of everyone at the Majestic, it's really great to have you here.
Well, if you want to know the truth, I didn't honestly want a job.
Really? You seem so perky.
Well, thank you. But that's just something I do. It comes to me naturally, like crying or looking really interested in people.
Oh, God, isn't she fantastic? You think I should ask her out?
Why are you asking me?
Well, you seem to have girls down. I mean, now that we work together, I could never ask her out of school because we don't run in the same circles. I'm not even sure she'd talk to me. At school, you don't talk to me.
If you want to ask her out, ask her out.
Where's Lynn Holly?
Putting on her makeup.
She wasn't wearing makeup?
How can you be impressed with her? She's shallow, self-centered. She's got the brains of a pom-pom. The only thing you could say for her is that she looks good in jeans.
And that.
Well, how do I look?
There's supposed to be a blouse that goes with that.
Yeah, but everyone here's an individual. Why don't I show you the candy counter? That's kind of the nerve center of the Majestic. Excuse us, Gwen. Well, this is it. The other side of the counter. It's a different perspective, isn't it? I like to think of it as the last outpost of reality, and we the gatekeepers to the world of imagination.
Is it always this sticky back here?
Pretty much.
What's this ladder?
That goes to the projection room. Marlon, there's someone here to meet you. He's our projectionist.
Marlon spends a lot of time in that little booth.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. How you doing?
Fine.
So, you're taking Kreit's place. Tell me something, Candy Gal. Can anyone ever take another man's place? I loved that son of a gun. He was more than a friend to me. He was like a brother. But more than that, he was my father.
He was a thief.
And someone I had to kill. Still, there are times, even now, when the wind blows a certain way, when I'll think of him and miss him, and I'll weep. You got any red licorice? Thanks. I'm going up now.
And I'm going down to the basement to get some more commando bars.
And I hate to leave you two alone, but I'm going to take a walk through the theater. Make sure everybody's being nice ladies and gentlemen.
So, what do you want to show me next?
Listen, before we go on, there was something I wanted to ask you. I realize you just got here, but I was wondering if sometime in the not too distant future, if there's a night when you're free and I'm free and you're not going out with anyone, if maybe you'd like to go out somewhere or do something or something like that.
Okay, why not?
Why not? I can think of 100 reasons, but if you can, that's great. What's a good night for you?
Do we have to decide that now?
No, of course not. What do you like to do?
Do we have to decide that now?
Hey, listen, we don't have to decide anything. I mean, the main thing is it's set. Sometime, somewhere, we'll go out and do something.
Fine.
I'm excited.
Excuse me, where would I find Leonard Brown?
He's in his office. Can I tell him who's calling?
Yes, my name is Karen Toth. I'm the architect for the new theater.
What new theater?
Well, actually, Mr. Tuttle just wants to make some changes in this one. He wants to turn it into a multiplex.
What, you mean one of those theaters like they have in shopping malls where everything's all squished together? You have these dinky little screens instead of the one big one?
Yes.
Well, why would they want to do that to the Majestic?
Well, obviously, more screens means more money. Is Mr. Brown in his office? I'll just let myself in.
Yeah.
Scott, you're going to have to put real cheese in the mouse traps. The mice aren't falling for the nacho dip. What's wrong?
They're going to destroy the Majestic.
Hard to believe. I remember the first time my father ever brought me here. Of course, I was just a little weenie then, about yay high, yay wide. Kind of an R2-D2 kid. They were showing some movie. I don't even remember what it was. I wasn't watching anyway. I kept turning around and looking up here. I remember saying, Dad, look, there's a man up there. My dad kept saying, turn around, eat your tuna. But I couldn't turn around. I knew right then that someday I wanted to be the man in the glass booth. And now, what are they going to do with this booth? Automate it? What's going to happen to me? This is all I know how to do. This and shadow puppet theater. Well, if they think after all these years of loyal service that I'm going to be demoted to pushing a broom someplace, they're wrong.
I can't believe we're the only ones who realize that the Majestic is a landmark. I mean, there has to be other people who think like we do.
Look, I realize my mind is just running wild right now, but if you feel this strongly, maybe you should talk to Mr. Tuttle.
Tuttle's not going to listen to a kid. The only thing Tuttle listens to is reason.
Oh, then forget it. That's like talking to a wall.
I better go back down. Thanks for having me up here, Marlon. This is always a good place to come and just think.
Well, everybody needs some place to escape, and my hatch is always open. Hey, kid, don't let him make you crazy.
Apprentice beef carrier. Load and unload sides of beef, $8 per hour. Call if you love animals.
What's everybody doing?
Looking for jobs? Well, I can't stop working while they change this place. I have to save money for college.
Yeah, and I can't stop going out while they renovate this place. I've got dates.
Yes! Isn't that fantastic? That means I don't have a job after all. Well, listen, I better go. Everyone here is devastated.
Is that all anybody cares about? what you can do in the meantime until this place reopens? Don't you care anything about the Majestic?
Well, sure we do.
Okay, okay, maybe this place means more to me than it does to the rest of you because I guess someday I'd like to be in the movie business. And I know that sounds like a moonshot, and I don't even know what it is I want to be exactly, but, there it is. I said it. Now you know. Boy, I'm not sure I ever told anybody that before.
You've told everybody that.
Oh, now I know who you are.
Okay, so I'm not a private person, but isn't there something we can do? I mean, places like the Majestic shouldn't be ripped apart just so people can make a few more bucks. I don't know why somebody can't tell Mr. Tuttle that.
Are you suggesting we tell him?
Well, if we can't talk to him, then Mr. Brown can.
Scott, I wouldn't go in there. You're on thin ice with Brown as it is.
Oh, where else is there to go? I mean, if we have a problem at home, we talk to our parents. If it's in school, you talk to our teachers. In the real world, you talk to Mr. Brown. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's hurting, too.
Lorraine, it's not the end of the world. Honey, I've told you before, things like this happen in life. A person has just got to learn to roll with the punches. Have you tried jiggling the handle? Well, look, why don't you lie down until I get home, and I'll take care of it. No, I'm not brushing you off. It's just someone important has come into the office. I have to talk with him. I will, dear. Goodbye.
Get out.
This is important. No, I have
If
to
it's
talk...
about the Majestic, don't start.
Mr. Brown,
You're starting. If you finish, you're fired. Excuse me. Does that new Stallone picture end with him getting beat up?
No!
I didn't think so. We're missing a reel.
You're missing a reel.
Mr. Brown, just hear me out. Doesn't it mean anything to you that you're the manager of someplace special? Mr. Brown, you're the manager of the Majestic. When you walk down the street, people say, there goes Mr. Brown, the manager of the Majestic.
They do not.
I've heard them. And when I haven't heard them, I've seen it in their eyes.
Is that what that look means?
Mr. Brown, when people come to the Majestic, they come here for a lot of reasons. And it's not just to see a movie. It's because of what this place represents. This place was built during the Depression, when people weren't standing in bread lines. They were standing in movie lines right here, waiting to go in and see Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers and Top Hat. I mean, it wasn't just a business then. It served a real purpose. If Tuttle had owned this place back in the 1950s, he'd have turned it into a drive-in. But some silly romantic decided to keep it the way that it was. And I'll bet that you're one of the people who was glad they did. Oh, didn't you ever come here when you were a kid, Mr. Brown?
Well, sure, I came here. My first date with Lorraine was here. I remember we sat up in the balcony and watched something or other.
Well, I mean, a lot of people have sat up in that balcony. How do you think they're going to feel if this place is suddenly ripped apart? I mean, I'm not trying to fight against progress, but it just seems to me that there ought to be room for places like the Majestic. And I can't believe that if someone were to talk to Mr. Tuttle, face to face, one-on-one, that they couldn't make him see that. Marlon, what are you doing?
I don't know. What was I doing?
Mr. Brown, what do you think? Will you go see Mr. Tuttle?
Well, you don't see Mr. Tuttle. I've worked for the man for 12 years. I've only actually seen him once. Luckily, he didn't see me. But I suppose I can call him.
Can I stay and listen?
Don't you have a movie to run?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Brown, this is a fantastic thing you're doing. I am feeling such respect for you right now.
Thanks. Mr. Tuttle, there's a crazed usher who wants to talk to you.
Good night.
Night. Scott's been in there an hour. I wonder what's taking him so long.
I figure Scott convinced Brown to call Tuttle. Brown did. Tuttle fired him. Brown killed Scott. And now he's cutting his body up into little pieces and trying to stuff them in the safe.
That would explain the time.
Hey, everybody, guess what?
You're alive!
What?
Nothing. What is it?
I think we saved the Majestic.
You're kidding!
All right, way to go, Mr. Brown!
Actually, Kreisman here did most of the talking.
See, I realized right away I wasn't talking to a man like Mr. Brown. I was talking to a high-powered executive. I meant that in the derogatory sense.
That's how I took it.
Yeah, anyway, this guy didn't want to hear about the Depression. All he wanted to hear was what saving the Majestic could do for him and why I was on the phone and not Mr. Brown. That's when Mr. Brown pretended to be choking on a hairball. So I told him about all the great PR he could get for saving a landmark. He liked that.
PR.
No, landmark. See, it reminded Mr. Teller of the tax break you can get for preserving a place like this.
And that convinced him?
Well, at least he agreed to think about it.
Oh, Scott, that's fantastic.
Way to go, man.
Let me get this straight. Does this mean I have to keep working?
Indeed you do, and you have Kreisman here to thank for it.
Well, Scott, thank you very much.
What's the matter?
When I found out this place was going to be closed for a while, I decided to have you over for dinner Saturday night to celebrate. But I guess you've ruined all that. As far as I'm concerned, our date is off.
All right, fine. If that's the way you feel about it, I thought it might be fun working together and going out together, but if you can't admire what I did, that is fine by me. Because somewhere in this world, Lynn Holly, there's a girl who does admire it. And when I find her, I just hope she looks like you.
You about finished?
Just about.
Look, Kreisman, if I haven't said so already, I was impressed with how you handled yourself this evening with Mr. Tuttle. That's well, probably a surprise coming from me. I'm not a guy who's easy on kids. The fact is, my wife and I don't have any kids of our own. No reason. Just never wanted them. I never even wanted to work with them. It's because most of the time you just don't use your heads. But when I see a kid stand up for what he believes in, like you did tonight, well, it makes me think that maybe I've been wrong.
Thanks, Mr. Brown.
You should take care of it.
Oh, again.
Will Dick leave the comforts of home for a home on the range? He gets a new view of the Old West on Newhart next.